In this video, we're going to demonstrate how to replace the Human Touch Super Novo Backrest Pad. The first thing we're going to do is power off the chair, then unplug it. Next, we'll lift up the foot and calf massager and use a 6mm Allen wrench to remove the Allen bolt that secures the front of the side panel. Next, we'll open up the small zippered pocket located right behind the speaker and use a Phillips head screwdriver to remove the screw inside. Now we're ready to slide the side panel slightly forward to detach it. However, keep an eye up near the top part of the side panel for a speaker connector, as earlier models have a connector there. Now we're ready to disconnect the hoses and the electrical connectors. If you had a speaker wire up at the top of the side panel, then you'll only have one connector here. Otherwise, there'll be two. And you don't need to worry about the order of the hoses, as they're numbered for easy reassembly. Now we're ready to remove the right-hand side panel by removing that bolt from the front and the screw from the top and disconnecting the hoses. And if you had a speaker connector at the top of the panel, you won't have a connector here, otherwise you will. Now we're ready to detach the headrest pad and the head pillow from the chair. And then we can open the zipper at the top of the backrest. Next, we can open the zipper that secures the front of the backrest pad to the calf massager upholstery. And then if you pull back the pad, you'll see there are two zippers in the front. Each one runs across the front of the chair and then up the side to detach the side of the pad. Next, we'll open one more small zipper in the front of the pad, and then we're ready to disconnect the hoses and the electrical connectors on each side of the pad. And here again, you don't need to worry about the numbering of the hoses, as they're numbered for easy reassembly. Then we can remove the backrest pad from the chair. To install the new backrest pad, then, we can just place it into position and then zip the top of it to the backrest. Next, we need to close that small zipper in the front of the pad. And then we can close both side zippers. And finally, we can zip the front of the backrest pad to the foot and calf massager upholstery. Next, we need to connect the backrest hoses and electrical connector to the corresponding hoses and connector from the chair. Be sure to match the hose numbers. And also be sure to slide each hose completely onto the fitting. And we can do the same on the other side. Before we place the side panel into position, we need to note the three mounting areas that we need to pay attention to when installing the side panel. The first is at the top. That bracket there will go into the slot at the top of the backrest. Down lower, there's sort of a horseshoe bracket that will slide onto this post. And finally, that horizontal bracket will rest on the corresponding bracket on the side of the chair. Okay, now we can place that side panel up next to the chair and kind of rest it on your legs while you reinstall the hoses, being sure to match the numbers. You can see there's a label 1, 2, 3, 4 on the side of the side panel. So match the corresponding numbered hose. And then be sure to connect the electrical connector, whether you have one or two. Okay, then we're ready to align those mounting points and slide the side panel backward into position. Now, if you had a speaker connector up by the speaker, then you'll need to connect that as you slide the top of the side panel bracket into the slot. But we don't have that on this chair. Once we're sure the side panel's attached, we can kind of pull out on it just a bit to make sure it's engaged, like so. And then we are ready to replace the Phillips head screw to secure the top of the side panel. Okay, once that screw is tight, we can close that pocket. And we're ready to reinstall the 6mm Allen bolt to secure the front of the side panel. And we're ready to do the same thing to reinstall the right-hand side panel. Again, here you may or may not have an electrical connector depending on if you have a speaker connection up near the speaker. And we're ready to attach the headrest pad and head pillow just by matching the hook and loop fasteners there. Push down to secure them. To test the chair to make sure everything is hooked up properly, we need to test all the backrest air functions, the sound, and the left arm control panel. And then we're done.